What?
Hi.
What is going on? YouTube world. Vinny. Dave. Episode 108 of the Instant Revolution podcast. Figured this we could tie this topic in because again tonight there's something's going on, or today some sort of event of some sort of something.
Yeah, I don't have my sticker either.
I don't know where I put it.
Mine's on my table somewhere.
I think I've got mine upstairs and I changed after going to vote earlier. Blind trust and faith. It's a little, and we get the bogus, like the red ones that just say I voted, like real low end circles. So it's like, huh, this friend again. Wow, what a treat. But we've seen it over the past, whatever it's been, 4 to 6 months, maybe longer, with the group breakers. I know both of you have discussed, and I've watched a fair amount as well, because I know you, Steve, you specifically in our conversations, I think after the show or just when we've had our rallies, as it were, offline, you watch Sports Card Radio, a lot of their stuff. So again, that's seeing more.
I haven't lately, because they've been, Dave's favorite 30+ minute videos, which I'm not opposed to, but it's a little bit more difficult for me to find opportunities to watch those.
Yeah, I get that. And I wish they'd sort of do what like Carlos would do and like take the excerpt, the bullet point. That'd be huge. Again, I try to watch, and most of the time it's just put on the TV, wash dishes, do something, and then just listen. That's the perfect stuff where I just need to. You can sit in the car and listen, because they're not showing cards, or they rarely do, unless it's something on the screen, some egregious offense or something of that sort. But a lot of shenanigans going on. We all know about the backyard breaks, Trevor Lawrence bullshit, the Kaboom Gold. My boy Chris, and I can't, Gilmore, he at one time owned Freedom Cardboard, the site I've promoted many a time. He has long since sold it, but the you dip, which pretty much is synonymous in every Sports Card Radio video right now. I mean, that soundbite gets in there quite a bit. Go way back, and way back being 4 years ago. The NT Brandon Cooks to 99, which that's all you hear people saying. And I know there's more. It's a problem, and it's not a good problem. When you forget them, that means there's too much of it going on. But the people that are still out there, they're continuing on.
In Eric's defense, there's a lot of people who put cards in mags upside down.
Well, they're wrong.
Just throwing that out there. I had to flip all these around because it annoyed the shit out of me.
I've seen it before at shows, and it just I have to like walk away. That's not, and the same with like these. If you have it in the like this in the top loader or the graded, it irritates me so much. That's supposed to go up, and the flip's supposed to be here, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think Eric's going to be defended.
What's going on, Carlos?
But just, and we'll get into in a few, just the people and the folks that it's always in this, it can lead to anything, any discussion right now, basically in humanity, especially tonight. Blind faith in people because of some sort of allegiance. They're your breaker. They've provided you entertainment. Maybe you joined some of their breaks and you feel the need to die in the hill for them. It just, and they could give a shit about you. Just like tonight, where you have people beating each other up and name calling and best friends not being best friends because one likes the donkeys and one likes the elephants. Well, that you can't have that. That's fucked up. It's just mind numbing that all this shit goes on and it can fracture everything in a snap of a finger. And you just go back. I don't know. I'm perplexed. It's such a perplexing, where people can't use their mind, lay out facts before them. There's visual evidence, especially for these breakers, that cards have been swapped. The other dipshit, that fucking fat wannabe Italian dude that's out in, I think, California, that like choked the young kid.
Platinum breaks.
There we are. That fuckhead. And people rally to their defenses or to their defense. It's I struggle hard. This cocksucker.
Yeah.
You got two
So
people.
Brad, so Brad, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna put you on the spot briefly. So I've already messaged you on Instagram. I know Vinny has already messaged you on Instagram. But I have to ask. Please tell me, or maybe it's not an ask, maybe it's a statement. Please tell me that this fucker over here was not left out and his is either delayed or it's taken an extra day because something isn't right.
I was Kirk Cameron. I was left behind.
I don't deserve anything at all. No, I don't. And I thanked Brad in advance because I need to do a video. It gives me a reason to now do a video, so Dave will shut up. See? Next batch going out Friday. I knew you weren't going to be left out, Dave. If I was included somehow miraculously, then Brad and I just started connecting, through the IRP. So it's one of those of which if I get something, you and Brad go way back. There is no shape, form, or fashion as to why you would not get something.
In Dave's curmudgeon-y ways, he doesn't accept gifts well. I don't know if anybody's realized that yet.
Wow,
I'm glad I'm sitting down.
Yeah, no kidding.
I told Tristan, this is my fucking, I hate this time of year. I do. I rather, as you guys know, as anybody that's known me for any length of time, I'd much rather do searching, do digging, find stuff for everyone else to make sure that they're. I can't read it. I'm much too far away from the camera.
You're full of shit too.
Not yet. I mean, I'm still eating, so I'm give it a couple of hours. I'll be.
Here, I'll read it for you then. I have to piss him off. LOL. Oh, you heard me. Shut up. Yeah, and you're full of shit too, Carlos.
So, yeah, I much rather, as you guys both know, as everybody knows, I'd rather give, because that way, or it's not like, oh, good, I feel better. It's like I know when I try to get something for someone, I actually think, and I know what you guys do too. I know a lot of folks on here do, but that's what I like the most. It's something where I take pride in listening and paying attention. Somebody says something, it's just in passing.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm going to stop
collaborating
opening my mouth. No. We're not going vanilla ice here. If we do, we're going to go too cold. We're going to go the too cold version.
Too Cold Scorpio?
No, the hard rock version of Ice Ice Baby. Come on. You know, Vanilla Ice tried to make it into the rock world.
Oh, I know. I remember that.
Love that, but I love that song. There's just something about it. But I myself, and I'm going to bring up Sictifer briefly, because I used to do that to him all the time. Casual conversation, chit chat, texting back and forth. He'd mention something on a video. A few months later, lo and behold, something would show up at his door, and he'd get agitated in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to stop linking stuff to people. I don't do this for people to go buy me stuff. Well, no, but friends look after one another. That's what we do. But since we have the show every week, I'm just going to freaking shut up. I'm not going to talk about anything that I'm looking at or interested in or missing or need to add to the collection. No more. No mas.
Too late. We already know everything.
Yep.
But you don't know everything.
Close enough.
No, you're not anywhere in the vicinity of everything.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you anything. I'm not going to give you any suggestions.
We have our ways, Steve.
No, you don't. No. No. Keep trying. Keep trying. Anyways.
But yes, not my favorite time of year, just because I've said it before. I think we all are sort of in the same boat where, like I said, we like doing something for someone else, especially people that matter to us, and we can find something that they really enjoy, and then not have to be inundated with stuff because it's already too commercial enough, and you gotta, these little spoiled shithead fucking people and douchebag fucking Mojo and Team Schmedium type assholes that are always getting stuff when they don't give anything back, and then this time of year I'm sure it's double. I don't know. I don't watch their shit. I haven't fucking watched either of those knuckleheads in their for probably a couple of months now.
I found other knuckleheads to watch.
Wise decision. So, Carlos, I have a question. So, based on the highlighted comment here, hello, good doctor. So, everybody give us a thumbs up so Carlos can invoice Eric, please and thank you. try and fund you a little bit more, Carlos. We like to, since we're talking about giving and things along those lines, anything we can do to help you out. So let's see how many thumbs up we can get, so Carlos can invoice Eric for a few more outside of
Friday nights.
the Carlos show on Friday night. So there you go. Sorry, Eric. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. And just for that, the more likes we get, the less hockey cards we're going to show. Well, maybe you shouldn't be so generous, Eric. There is a price to pay. On the flip side, we could be, Carlos could invoice you and we could invoice you. So we could be double dipping, but we won't do that to you, at least. Carlos is grabbing his burner accounts. Even better.
Just hope that Mark and Bob don't show up with their.
Well, we know Bob is on vacation, so his would have to come after, and I don't know what the cutoff is for payments. Carlos, is there a timeline? Is it likes for the entire? I mean, do you give it a week? Do you give it 24 hours? So if it's 24 hours, we can ping Bob and Mark and be like, hey, we need a favor. We need you to log on to all your burner accounts and give this show a thumbs up. Just trying to think of another way to help fund things for you. Because we do this stuff for people, we give things.
Let's see.
That's our way to give back. Exactly. 'Tis the season. Oh, it's a lifetime. Oh, see, even better. Even better. So does the same apply for past episodes then? Or is it effective today? Like this show and future shows?
Going to be retroactive, or do we?
Because we can work that too. I mean, we do have 108 episodes that we can,
And then
get back to me on that. Yeah. LMK.
Standalone stuff, the breaking the boxes and all that stuff, we can go on there too. And so, Vinny, what's new?
It was a good weekend. Very good weekend. My soccer club that C's affiliated with took the championship 1-0 on Sunday night. And I actually got a piece of hardware. So National Independent Soccer Association, yes, Ghost. 2022 champions, Michigan Stars. So felt pretty good when they called my name, totally unexpected, and they hung this around my neck, and I was pretty stoked because put a lot of time into it, but it was all for the boys to help them out because it's not MLS, it's not USL. It takes a village to help these boys out because they're not funded as well and paid as well as those other soccer associations. So it was a pretty good weekend for them. So thank you. Thank you, Ghost. I appreciate it kindly. Bless you. So that was the big highlight of the weekend. Long 14-hour day, but well worth it.
Yeah, Dave and I followed through text from Vinny. through the championship. So we, of course, we're rooting for him. Tatenda, who's the Michigan Stars goalie, is one of Cecilia's goalie coaches, and we're all very fond of him and what he does for her. And it's a great experience for her to have somebody who plays professional sports, and the whole team for that matter, take a liking to her, and really pushing her to keep playing and keep trying and everything else. I would have killed to have something like that playing soccer. I got burnt out, but that was a personal thing for me. It hit hard when my first team coach decided to retire, because he's the only reason why I kept pressing, and he saw something in me and worked with me and turned me into the player that I became. And then also gave me the opportunity to be a goaltender. And, it's no matter what anybody says, not everybody can play goalie. I don't give a damn. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of practice, a lot of balls, uh, and instincts. It's not for the faint of heart. And I enjoyed the hell out of the position. But, it's when your coach and your mentor decides to retire, yeah, you still want to play. So I went and joined another team for a couple years, and the only reason why I played the couple years was the assistant coach, not the head coach. The assistant coach is who coached us during indoor season, but the head coach was a freaking hot-headed prick. So it just, I don't know, it doesn't work. So after a couple seasons, I hung up my cleats in middle school and called it a career. Wish I would have played through high school, because I could have gone places potentially. But hey, hindsight's 2020. I don't regret the decision. But when you have a professional team and a professional athlete that shows that much interest in the success of a young player, that says a lot about their character. So we are indebted to him and what he's, not just him, the team in general, to just, it puts a smile on your face to know that there are certain athletes that still take that as a main focal point of their existence and engaging in kids.
And she didn't get to start in goal, but they were losing 3-0 at half. East Coast. He's protecting his treat. But they were down 3-0. Now you're gonna start. We're on in the streets. No, actually just a backyard. But they were down 3-0. I'm like, who are they putting in goal? Because she had her greens on, her green uniform, and I'm like, it didn't look like her color green that she wears. And I start hoofing it, and I'm like, holy God, they're actually going to play her. She came out like a beast. And first kick that they shot at her, she does one of these leg things that she's been working on, because when they're close and she has to react, instead of going forward to the ball, Tatenda has her moving her leg almost like a kick save. And she did that, and I'm like, okay. And then 2 of them she caught in the air, and then she dove sideways and grabbed one, and the striker was coming in. She got up in her grill and grabbed a ball, and the girl knocked her over. So she took the foul, and she's just laying there. And I'm like, I wonder who she learned that from. And then it happened the second time. Girl trucked her over, and she had the ball, drew the foul, and she's just laying there. This time the coach came out. As soon as the coach got there, she got up. She's like, I'm not going out. I'm fine. She was drawing the foul.
Selling it.
Yeah, she was selling it. And I texted to Tenda, and I'm like, hey, your girl's out here flopping like a fish, faking it pretty good out here today. I said, I wonder where she learned that from. He goes, oh, no, not me. He blamed some other goalie. And I was like, nah, that's all you, buddy. You taught her how to sell it. And then she had 2 goal kicks. It was 2 punts. She punted to this girl. She took it down and scored. Then the next one, she punted down. The girl kicked it and crossed it in front, and they scored. So they only lost 3-2. So she was on fire. There was nothing she was. And then when she was greeting the boys on Sunday night, she's like, I got to start in goal. I'm feeling good. It's got to be a sign you guys are going to win tonight. And they took that and they ran with it because her energy was so pure, and she was a ball of energy on Sunday night. And then to be allowed, when they pushed everybody back, she was the only kid, along with Ennis, he's our goalie coach, his 2 kids. Those were the only kids there. So everybody's like, why does she get to go? I'm like, because when his team 3 years ago, nobody knew about him, she was there, and that's what she did. I mean, when there was no chance of a championship, she was at every game, and she stuck by him for 3 years. So she's going to reap the benefits. That's how it goes. And then they let everybody on the field to take pictures and do what have you. But the special time was for her. And
Yeah.
It was awesome to see her get. Like I said, she couldn't get her medal because she was under 18. They gave it to her after. So when she got her medal from Tim, it was pretty special. So she's got one of these. The better half's got one. So it was a good weekend. Something I'll never forget. Great memory. Thank you, Ghost. I'm glad you approve. Must be feeling better after he had his cold for 3 weeks and wasn't bothering anybody. He's better now.
It wouldn't be an IRP show without him.
Yeah. He's guarding his treat, and nobody can go near it.
And nobody's going near it anyway.
I think she's a little too young. I don't even know if she knows what TTM is. I have to explain that to her.
Sounds like somebody's wanting to get in on the
action
early
ahead of
going
that.
in the event that C makes it big time.
Dude, so Messi's pass card. They have these things called pass cards when they're in youth soccer. So I keep saving them after every year, and I keep putting them away. I'm like, if Messi sold for 1.2 million, maybe I could get $100,000 out of one of these. We'll be funding the IRP forever. And buying you kibble.
If she keeps playing through high school, gets a chance to play college, you just don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. And she might say, I'm playing softball tomorrow. It's up to her. I doubt it.
But see, that's the way things are supposed to be. It's supposed to be their decision. And like for me, from a sports perspective, it was always my decision. Scott, it was his decision. Kiddo in there, their decision. You don't push them.
Broke Meredith's heart for her to quit softball, but she had to pick.
Well, it's at the end of the day, it's what she wants to do, and as long as the two of you are supportive, of course, you're going to have the support of us anyways, and probably the rest of the IRP crew. We're going to root her on no matter what she decides to do. But, I hope she continues, and I'm hoping and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go on record, and I normally wouldn't. Well, yeah, I would. But the only thing we can hope for is that the snatch cunt doesn't completely get inside her head and completely ruin the experience for the future. That is my only concern, and that will always be my concern because it's. I've seen what it does to her based on what you shared with me, and there's times in which I wish I could be there and like take her to the side and find a way to pump her up like Uncle Steve can, but I can't always. I mean, I can't do that. It's not like I live there, but it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, and I know it does, Dave. It pisses. Well, it also pisses all three of us off outside of you, but I digress. Let's stay positive. Even though we're going to talk about something negative to a degree and the lack of accountability, but
And
anyways.
Joe, that's what I'm wearing tonight. Well, Jason Robertson, as Tim Stutzel just scored for Ottawa. What about you, Steve? What's new with you?
I have a house guest for a while, and I'll leave it at that. I helped move shit this weekend for said house guest, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah, not as great and wonderful and exciting as Vinny's news or anything along those lines. I made my first post on Instagram, and I don't know how long, but that wasn't this weekend. I don't think my days are running together. Yeah, that's the extent of mine. Oh well, something next weekend. So out of the blue, my old shop owner texted me random. So I'm going to lunch to meet up with him on Saturday. Not quite sure what to expect because normally when he reaches out or when he used to reach out, he needs something. So yeah.
Hopefully not this time.
I hope not, but it's one of those in which it depends.
Yeah, Ely. Well, the football game last Friday, we left at halftime. Thought it'd be good. A lot of other people did too. It wasn't like I was in the minority. Cherry scored right away. Like a 60-yard swing pass. And that was after Mountain Iron fumbled. Mountain Iron came back down. Quarterback, I think, ran it in. Cherry was like 3-and-out, punted, like a 20-yard punt. Mountain Iron right down, scored again. And I think Cherry fumbled. Mountain Iron scored a 30-yard touchdown. And it was, I think, 26-6 before you knew it. Push off in the end zone, offensive pass interference, made a fucking hell of a catch to score a touchdown, taken away, and told Naomi because it ended up after that. Crackback block, chop block, and I think another like a holding. So it ended up 2nd and 41. And I'm like, that there's remembering the Ravens got, I think, like a 4th and 27 against my Chargers with a Ray Rice over the middle. I'm like, it's not impossible, but this is not the NFL. This is 9-man football. You're already playing in a slenderer field than like regular 11-man. So, like, if they don't make it here and Mountain Iron scores, we're leaving. And literally, it's like, okay, they 3rd and whatever, 25. I think they went for it and got about 15. So, I mean, they did reasonable, but Mountain Iron within like 3 plays was back in the end zone. I'm like, okay, I love to see how well they do, but it's frigid out. It's perfect football weather. High school me would have been loving the weather, but adult me trying to text 3 people the scoring update. A guy from Chisholm that one of their kids went over to Cherry to play, which is about 5-10 miles away. And he's good friends with like that family from church. I was trying to text him, trying to text the Coca-Cola manager that graduated from Mountain Iron, and another guy that is up in Ely that we talk sports all the time, and he coached the community college basketball team last year. Not anymore, because realizing that was not a fun time trying to recruit and get people that aren't from around this area to try to play basketball and go to school. It's a little more difficult than he envisioned. So it's like, I got 2 young kids. That's too much of a hassle for me. Maybe down the road, but trying to text all 3 of them, hands were just like literally blue. I had gloves. I mean, I wore my choppers out there and winter hat, and I mean, I had that all on, so I wasn't bad that way. But the hands, as soon as you start texting, it's just like I'm like curling up like the whatever, like Edgar Allan Poe, the little claw when you get the wishes, and it's all of that goes back into the fist. So watch that, and thankfully, I'm like, okay, that's good. We can leave, and we're gonna get out of here. And a lot of other people had the same idea. Then we went to Hermantown, which is right outside of Duluth, Saturday for the volleyball game. And again, this is probably my 5th or 6th volleyball game watching ever. All of them in the last month. And the other team, it wasn't like they were like a huge threat. Again, they're the #1 seed in the southern region, and had one girl that was pretty decent height, 5'10", whatever, and then a girl is solid, but I think they're going to be pretty good in a couple years. Those 2 girls, and I think one more, were all, I think, freshmen. And I'm like, that lays the foundation for down the road if we just get a couple decent players in there to be setters or whatever. First set we were down 25-22, 25-23. Second set we got down like 7-1 right out of the gate, just dumb errors and misplays. Lost that one, which that's the first set I've seen them lose. I know they've lost a couple all year, but I was like 25-18. And I just told Naomi, I said, I want to see how they come out in this. Man, Ottawa and Vancouver are scoring quite a bit now. I want to see how they come out in that third, because I mean, you come out flat, then you're in trouble, because you keep this team in it. More confidence, that upset starts rumbling. They got going, and I think at one point they're up 10. What was it, 10-3? And I think they rattled off like 8 or 9 points in a row. It was like 19-3. Like, this is what they can do when they start getting going. Just watching like the motion out there. I've said it's like the Shriners on 4th of July. in those little cars, and they're zipping around in figure eights, and everything is like just picture perfect precision out there. And then the fourth set, you could tell Floodwood was running out of gas. I mean, they just errors you shouldn't be making, playing balls that were going to go out. The serving was, and they were flat footed. They just lost the gas, and I think it was like 25-12, 25-13, whatever it's on the channel. You can watch a final point. So, of course, they play Thursday. I'm like, okay, that's a perfect day off. Usually at work anyway, but I mean, if they're down there, I can easily finagle stuff to where I don't care. Order and leave. They play at 7 p.m. down at the XL. So they're talking about fan buses. I'm like, that'd fucking be amazing. I'll pay the $20. Later, Eric. Take a fan bus down there. Fuck, I'll pay $20 for me and Naomi, and make sandwiches and bring some sodas or whatever and Gatorade. Post right before came on, I got two people that were, one that's the school secretary and one lady that works at Ace, or like her family owns the Ace Hardware in town. I said, hey, you find out about what's going on, let me know. And she's, nope, screenshotted from Facebook that no fan buses, nothing in the northern half of the state. Anything coming from the Twin Cities would just be too much. Like, fuck, because we're supposed to get a winter storm Thursday night. That means coming back, and it probably ends up being, and again, they canceled school Thursday and Friday, so people can go down there and not have to worry about classes and whatnot. But I'm just like, fuck, because I want to go down there. First ever game at state. Show Naomi the XL. So it's, I don't know. It's one of the, it's not, it shouldn't be a decision where you're torn as much as I am, but it's like I'm sitting there and thinking, that's a long ass day. Go down, have to go down probably, good. Like, she gets out of school at 1, so probably leave right at 1. So that's 4 hours plus probably whatever hit rush hour. Try to get something to eat, and then probably just leave it in the car. Well, we probably get something at the X and then just eat there. Have sandwiches on the way down, but it's. So I know she's she wants to really go down there and watch, and I'm like, I don't blame her at all. We watched all the way till now, and more than likely we'll go. But right now, I'm still sort of waiting on the weather to see how that's gonna. They say about 6 to 8 inches of snow, and of course, driving back, it sucks. I hate driving in that weather. It's not gonna be light fluffy snow this time of year. It's gonna be heavy wet, and so I don't know. A lot of hemming and hawing. Financially doesn't matter. I can make it work. Just the aspect of the work the next day, which I don't know. It really doesn't matter, but I'd still have to get back for Saturday. I mean, if they won, and then I found out like they'd win Friday, they'd play sometime Saturday for the title, I would be ordering Friday, trying to get all my ducks in a row then, depending on Saturday when they played, because if it was like in the afternoon, I'd probably somehow try to get like a hotel like north of the cities of Forest Lake or somewhere. So no, volleyball. I don't know if it's ever been on TV. I'm sure somewhere on like the MSHL web page, website, it probably is on there. But I don't. It's for me. It's not the same. It sounds terrible, but I'd rather be dead tired and have my daughter super excited for this stuff than lamenting, because again, my brain works a lot differently. I'll remember that for years. As unimportant as it truly is, I'll remember it. And then I'll beat myself up over it because we didn't go. So, as dead tired as I'd be, I'd just bring a 12 or a pop and just have it ice cold and just keep chugging. Just keep caffeine pills and all that fun stuff and just try to fucking stay awake. And again, those rest stops along the way. If I gotta stop and we gotta sleep for a while or put the car on, we can do that too. But yeah, I just wish it worked out where it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was hoping like a 1 or 2 o'clock start time. We can leave at 7, get down there 11:30, get in just buy the pass for the day. Say, okay, whatever, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Here's a pass. I'll just buy a ticket or whatever for the next, if they win for Saturday or whatever, just to have it. Then you can leave at 3. You can leave at 3 out of there, be back by 8:30. Perfect. But fuck that 7 o'clock time is just really throwing a fucking wrench in the old cogs. And
You'll figure it out, Dave.
oh, I know it's.
Go with your gut, man. Go with your gut, whatever that is.
It's a big one.
You said it.
Well, this isn't like anything that's not known. I'm not telling any tales out of school here.
But I'm just saying, you said it. Nobody else said it.
A lot of thought bubbles were in a full effect there.
Is that what you're calling them now? Thought bubbles?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll get it figured out one way or the other, whatever it looks like. But weather should play a factor in that decision. But on the flip side, weather should play a factor in the decision for them to actually play too. Just throwing that out there.
They will though. I mean, they're already down there. They went today. The volleyball team's down there. So because I think there's going to be like I want to say banquet tonight maybe. I think they start tomorrow, the bigger schools, and then Thursday it's the smaller schools, or the 1A and the 2A, and then the 3A and 4A are tomorrow. So
Gotcha.
because they had the send off or whatever today, the bus left and the police escort out of town. So they'll be down there. And it's supposed to just affect, of course, I think from like Duluth on up. I'm glad Vinny's not a goalie. His reaction time.
Isn't that the truth?
My reactionary time is gone, boys. Too old for it.
No.
As you can see, she has a medal too. And she decided to show it to everybody.
Well,
And
actually,
Dan.
I still like the Instagram post where she leaves the one dude hanging.
Yeah, Leon. He's from former Yugoslavia, and he's like 6'6". He's just a beast. He's got a wicked header on him. He's scored 3 or 4 goals on headers this year. He just big old noggin, and they hang on him all the time. And him and C, yeah, they share their Croatian descent because he's half Croatian. So she's walked him out a couple times when Tatenda was hurt. And he's like, "What do you mean?" He was like shocked. He's like, "C's walking me out." It was like his big honor because she never walks anybody else out but him. So
Okay, Cecilia, it's time for bed. Say goodbye, good night to the boys.
Night.
Good night.
what a goof.
Gold is disgusting. Okay.
So yeah,
Take a couple out of there.
on to more of the topic. I was
Huh?
tracking the topic.
What?
You know that thing we're supposed to talk about each week?
I mean, chicken sandwiches?
Chicken nuggets?
They know us all
Oh, no. Did C just say chicken nuggets?
That's what she's
That-
eating.
That's strike one, C.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
strike
chicken
one.
sandwiches, not nuggets. We don't do chicken nuggets here. We do chicken sandwiches. Okay. Go eat your chicken nuggets and go to bed. You got school tomorrow.
I was gonna say, if you
Anyhow.
do like the Raising Cane's chicken strips.
Yeah. Well, the chicken nuggets at Chick-fil-A are quite delectable.
I thought you were supposed to be talking about
Yes, but no.
I've never had it. I just had the chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich. We chicken sandwiches, man. Come on.
Okay. But anyhow, box of
were saying.
97 Flair metal, $4.99. So that's a hobby box. Hold on.
Great glare.
Yeah. But $4.99 plus $11 shipping, so $5.10 shipped. Huh? What?
The dog needs to go
Yeah.
outside.
They go
I
outside.
heard her.
Go ahead, Ghost. Anyhow, so $5.10 shipped. You could probably buy most of the cards that are bigger in that set for slightly the price of 2 of those boxes. They're trying to get $200 to $250 for the base set of just the metal cards, from what I've seen.
That's a carryover from basketball.
There's no PMGs.
I know,
There's
but
only
it's
superpowers.
but it's still the carryover from basketball, which still doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever, because we all know the big driver in football and in basketball is PMGs. But yet, yes, the base set is nice. There's some nice inserts and some insert parallels and stuff. But price doesn't always justify the means in some of that, especially on like for superpowers and hockey. Those are almost non-existent pulling yourself, you know.
Mhm.
The odds are against you in that box for $500 to pull something huge to the ROI on that box. I'm not sure what's there.
And how do they come out of the packs? Has anybody watched any breaks? Is everything stuck together? Like a lot of that high gloss stuff, Pinnacle, or
Yeah, it's sort of like the first and second year of Leaf, because of the high gloss paper, they stick, and there is paper loss. So
and the edging on the back already, it's suspect at best.
Correct.
Come out of the pack, so
Look at Leaf Preferred, the sweaters, the home and away, because of the way those are made, those have a tendency to stick. So there's products that I've bought. I'm trying to think of it. It's the year of Pinnacle. I think it might be 96, 97 Pinnacle that I got the fat packs. I think the box was $60. The only thing that made it out were the inserts because they were backwards. And somehow they weren't bad. There was paper loss on just about everything else. So I actually bought that set, even though I could have put it together with what I ripped. The paper loss was so bad after 26 odd years. I think I opened it 2 years ago, so a little less than that. It was just rough. So when one of those came up for like $23 for plus $8 shipped, $31, I bought the set. Because instead of piecemealing what I had with what I had in that box that didn't have paper loss, which was not much, I said, nah, I'm just going to buy it. So.
It's that whole blind faith thing. Open
Yeah.
the product, having blind faith, hoping that you're going to get something worth a damn.
There's a lot of blind faith in opening product, especially if you're doing it for return on investment. It doesn't usually happen. It's the fun of opening the box like we do for chasing the hits. It's just fun.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Trying to open stuff 20 years old, 25 years old. I don't know how you go about like putting the box in something like a humidor. What the hell would you fucking do to combat the high gloss and almost try to have it just at some sort of temperature to make sure the stuff doesn't peel apart, because you don't want it to peel, but just, and I don't think you could because it's been sitting for 25 years.
I've heard people say you can put it in the freezer.
Doesn't work. I've tried it.
And that's the thing. It's like
a wives' tale.
What works for one person may not work for somebody else, though, either. Because, let's face it, just because if all three of us had the same box of cards from the same era, same product, Dave's may be worst of all, Vinny's could be in the middle, and maybe I get lucky. It's all about how some of it's stored. Has a lot to do with it. If you have to deal with the extreme temperature changes, that can deal a lot with it. But, at the same time, back when I was selling all the older boxes and some of those boxes that I purchased, some of them I had to deal with that. A lot of it has to do with patience. Sitting there doing this and doing both sides and everything else and trying to lift each card individually. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So for something like that, it's high risk, high reward in certain products if you're willing to take that risk. But I'll speak for the three of us. Most of us don't have, $500, $600, $700 to bank on hopes and dreams. It's just not in their price point.
No, if we're dropping that money, it's going to be on a guarantee of there's a card, a collection of cards.
Exactly.
I know we know what we're going to get.
Yep.
So it especially
we do it for the fun of it, the nostalgia. Now, if I could stumble across, a few of my favorite products, of the 90s for a reasonable price, I'd take the risk just from a nostalgia perspective. But even at that, I'm not going to drop $200 or $300 on something when at the time I could, I was paying 70, 80, 90. It's not cost effective in my mind, even for nostalgia. It's not. If it's reasonable, yeah, I'll take
And there is
it.
pulling an old redemption.
Yeah, that hurts.
That's because I've seen that happen with 07 was it Exquisite? Ultimate? I mean, there's a lot of those products where Chris would be like, I can't even read it, but it looks like a Drew Brees, Brett Favre dual auto. And that's not going to be to 150. It's going to be to probably 25 or less. And it's probably going to be on card. So,
well, I still have, is it 2000, 2001? It's either 2000, 2001, 2, 3, or 3, 4. I have the Sign of the Times Gold Redemption auto of Jordan for the Wizards. And of course, when I pulled it, Upper Deck did nothing. And yes, it's in the Wizards, but Sign of the Times Gold is numbered to 25. Sign of the Times is on card. I tried everything I could. I even tried to call in a favor with Chris to see if he could have a conversation with somebody at Upper Deck. And I'm sitting on the redemption because it's one of those in which I refuse to send it in for the chance of getting something. Well, nowadays, I mean, that's a $1,500, $2,000 card, easy, even in a Wizards uniform.
Probably more. I just think more, especially numbered to 25.
Yeah, I'm not going to take that chance.
Especially looking at what Panini's been doing with their redemption stuff and just being jobbing.
Speaking of fucking Panini, like a month ago, I got a random package from them on a freaking apparently an expired redemption that I didn't even know I fucking had. But I'll give them props. I got a PC card. I got a KJ Hamler. It's in a college uniform, but it's like, okay, at least I got something PC related. But I'm like, that redemption had to have been like 8 years old or something.
They're really shit in the bed. I saw a few of those the sob stories on Facebook were dipped out of there, and it was bad.
Well, Topps is doing the same thing.
It's you want to lose collectors. That's a good way to do it. You're not delivering on your hits. Then if you get a redemption, now you're not delivering on your redemptions. So what are you delivering on? False hope and dreams. That's not what you want to be doing when people are dropping that kind of money on cards, especially with the frequency that's in Flawless now and Immaculate. And
Here's some Panini points.
Yeah. And somebody had shown, what the hell was it? Oh, like a Beanie Wells. Was it a Beanie Wells? It was somebody that's long since been an afterthought in the league, where one of their like rookie autos, like a certified or something like that, maybe a mirror gold certified, like the quad piece auto was like a 3,200 or 22,000 point redemption. Like, I don't know what 2,000 points goes for, but I know it's probably a lot more than what that Beanie Wells or whatever running back it was. That card can go for. So I'm guessing it doesn't go for $15 tops for 2,000 points. I'm guessing that's probably $100, like 70 to $100. So, putting your faith in any company that they're gonna do right, they're gonna change. It's always been something too that's been just why are you putting your faith in them? There's very few that have done right. Score, I've said this story, I think somewhere along the line. I got a 90 score set when we were down in Waterloo in 1991. The family trip down that way through the southern states, or southern to me, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas. We dipped into the little part of Mississippi, back up through Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin. Got the set down there, the Frank Thomas. That was a card I wanted. Because again, the Leaf one, that wasn't a touchable card for me. I was 11 years old. It had a green mark on it, the little green printing marks that we had. Super pissed. I'm like, this is the card I wanted. Ended up mailing it to Score, and they mailed me the card back and a new one in top loader. It was a letter, like a typed out letter. Again, it's probably a form letter, but still, it mattered to me. Like, okay, that's as an impressionable youth, and you're spending your money or you're getting a gift, and it's a gift that's something of, at the time, great significance. When that faith can be restored, it's, oh, that's a nice feeling. But you look now, it's like, Christ, oh, I pulled a John Elway redemption for an auto. What, you like the Broncos? Well, just happen to have a couple of Teddy Bridgewater Broncos autos here. You're going to get that, and fuck, I don't even know, Vance Johnson auto. That's what you're going to get. So instead of just that one Weasley, you're going to get two, and maybe you'll throw in a pack of Panini footballs. That'll appease you, right? No, this one here, one of your marquee cards, that's what it's supposed to get, and I'm not getting it. Not anything to do with me. I bought the pack, I bought the box, I bought the spot with Bluebird, whatever the case may be. How am I not getting what it's like, if you won the Powerball, well, I get the winning Powerball ticket. Okay, the cash option is whatever, 900 million. Well, we'll give you 150 million. Oh, hold on here. It's like $2 billion. No, it's 150 million. That's good, right? No. $1 billion basically is coming my way. No, you get 150 million up. Make it 125, and I'll throw a box of national treasures. What? It's not a bargaining. That's where it's. I get where people. Okay, the thing isn't made. Pick somebody. But how many? This will be the only part I empathize with any card company. How many times? Well, I got a Randy Johnson auto. I need to get an auto pass protected. I got a redemption. Okay. He couldn't find his dad died or whatever happened. Something happened. Is there any replacements? Well, I'm looking for Mike Trout, Michael Jordan, Giannis, Kobe, Gretzky, just those guys. How how old must that get? If you're the redemption manager, whatever it would be, and you hear that every fucking time, no matter if it's Randy Johnson, no matter if it's Juan Soto, no matter if it's Dennis Northcutt, the lowest rung to the top of the mountain, that's all you hear, the same people. It's like, is somebody out there going to say, hey, I like Broncos, Terrell Davis is my favorite, Elway's another guy I like, just anything real cool. Just something that if you open it and you're like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Not a base auto, not just something that sticks out. Mirror Emerald, Broncos auto. Mirror Blue, Broncos auto. Something that just really grabs you by the gonads and says, hey, look at me. So that's where I'd empathize with them. But to think that you're going to be fairly compensated in a redemption or buying a box, that blind faith should have left fucking decades ago.
But I've always sat there and just put myself in a different mindset, I guess. So when you work in an industry, regardless, you run into discontinuation, end of life products, so on and so forth. Typically, when a manufacturer issues an end of life, end of sale, you have X amount of time to procure up to a certain amount, because let's face it, you still have to keep some inventory for support purposes and replacements and things along those lines for anybody like under a support contract. Those companies then go and provide an end of support, typically 5 years after like an end of sale type situation. So why couldn't you somewhat implement the same mindset when it comes to a redemption? Yes, redemptions have expirations, which, to be brutally honest, I still think is the stupidest freaking thing in the world, because how can cardboard expire? However, I get it that basically they're trying to get the consumers to buy up all the product and then, of course, redeem all the redemptions. I mean, that's the whole kind of objective. But introducing their redemption type swaps and programs that all these manufacturers have for high dollar value cards, what purpose does it serve? As a collector, if you have a redemption that's expired and you know it's a $10,000 card plus or whatever, are you really willing to take a chance to send it in and get nothing? You'd almost be better off selling the redemption card and making it somebody else's hassle, right? So why doesn't the manufacturers, up to a certain point after a product release, buy back all the product? Keep it off the streets. Keep it out of people's hands. Because there are still high dollar value products that have high value redemptions that technically are now worthless. And me as a collector, if I'm going to pay that kind of money and take the risk, it's hard to sit there. That's a hard pill to swallow, to sit there and open something knowing that there's a chance to get a redemption that you're not going to get swat on. So why not do a buyback program?
If you're opening a product, you have to look at the checklist. You got to see what was. The checklist is key. If anything, 3 years or older, usually, if you're buying it and the big hits or redemptions, don't buy it. I think it's like 2000.
But you don't always know that they're redemptions. That's the problem.
Well, if like I can't remember if it's 0506 or 1516 MVP hockey. I think McDavid I think McDavid is a redemption. And people are still charging like $300 a box. And I have to go through it again because I'm like, I would pay $300 if you had a chance to get a McDavid rookie card. But if you buy it and the only thing you're going to get is a redemption card for McDavid, why pay the money?
But on the flip side, the same argument would be, though, why would you pay $300 for a box at a chance of a McDavid, or just go pay $250 and get the card? And I'm just spitballing numbers here because I don't know what an MVP McDavid sells for, but you get my point.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's still one of those in which I understand the necessary evil of redemptions. You know, redemptions have been a hot topic forever and a day, and they're always going to be a hot topic forever and a day. Because let's face it, manufacturers have timelines that they have to meet. They don't print the cards, so they're at the mercy of the printers and the pack outs and everything else. So they have to execute and meet certain requirements in order for things to make pack out. And when people don't fulfill their obligations, the only other option, if they want to have their stuff in the product, the only option is redemption. They're a necessary evil. They've been a necessary evil. Do most of us like them? No. Most of us hate them. But on the positive side, if you look at things, most of your card manufacturers, and I'm spitballing here, probably have 80 to 85% success rate of fulfilling their redemptions. If you think about the total number of redemptions that get put into products across all products. Could be high, could be low. I don't know. It'd be an interesting, number to look at. And like I said, I'm spitballing here. I don't have details. I don't have specifics. I don't have data to back it up. I'm making an educated guess. But to go off of what you were saying, though, too, Vinny, looking at the checklist is great in a lot of situations. But the issue that you have is, unless the information is readily available for redemption data, it's hard to make a judgment call. Like Beckett, for certain cards, they were notated as redemption. You knew that going in. But because redemptions became so mainstream in the last 10 years, they are so mainstream, Beckett doesn't capture that information anymore. Not that I'm aware of, nor that I've seen. Which is why I go back to, after so many years of a product being released, do a buyback program. Some people are going to take advantage of it. Some people won't. But at a bare minimum, if you're sitting on, let's say, $100 box as a dealer, for instance, and you have, 3 cases that you've been sitting on because you can't sell them, and the manufacturer offers you, close to your purchase price, why not? You start getting product off the streets, which reduces the amount of expired redemptions. Then the manufacturer can do what they want with them. Most likely they're going to open them or whatever and, do whatever they want with them. But as a dealer, you at least get some capital coming in. It's no longer dead money. As a collector, if you collect wax, if you're willing to take the risk and sit on them, then fine, that you've accepted that risk. But on the flip side, if you're not willing to accept that risk, selling it back to the manufacturer, you at least get something, which is better than nothing. Because an expired redemption, especially for 5, 6, 7, 10, any type of comma card, you're taking an even bigger risk sending it in for their monthly or bi-monthly or annual drawing and hope that you can get something. But I don't know about you. If I had a $10,000 redemption and I sent it in and yay, I won, and I get something that's like $100, yeah, great, you got something. But at the same time, I'd be a little pissed.
If it says I'm getting a whatever autograph, that's what I should be sent. Have
You
the
should-
card, have
You
the
should be
card
something
made.
comparable. No, comparable. Just comparable
Well, if it's
of the player.
if it's expired, is what you're
That's what I'm
saying.
getting at. Yes, comparable. If I send in something, Michael Jordan, sign of the times, on card autograph, number to 25, in a Wizards uniform, I should get something comparable of Michael Jordan in a Wizards uniform that's an autograph. That's at least numbered to 25.
Yeah, and the cheapest one of those is like $6K. At least the one's on buy it now on eBay.
So it's like, and I know that may not be feasible, but you can't force them to sit there and fire up the freaking printers for one-off things. That's not feasible. That's not cost effective. But there's other ways that these manufacturers need to look at things as it pertains to redemptions. But go ahead.
No, you finish your thought.
I'm just going to say it still goes back to the whole blind faith thing. Since that is in fact the topic, you're jumping into things with blind faith, hoping that you're going to come out even or on top of taking a risk of buying something that may be riddled with redemptions. So,
call me crazy, but if there's say 1,000 redemptions that a company does, those 1,000 cards should be printed with the autographs, the swatches, what have it already sitting there. And when you send in your thing, here's your card, here's a card, here's a card. And when it's over, I don't know what would you do with those? What would you do with all those leftover cards that weren't redeemed?
most of them, but see, this is also how you get quote unquote backdoor copies per se. They print stuff as customer service replacements, whatever that percentage is. And it's up to their discretion on whether or not they take care of somebody. But a lot of those situations don't normally carry serial numbers, because if that were the case, then you'd have multiple 1 of 25s or 2 of 25s in that type of situation. I'm fairly certain, and Dave, I know you're there and you're not on mute, but if I'm not mistaken, that's how a lot of like the Score Showcase Artist Proof 1-of-1s and or the Pinnacle Mint 1-of-1s, they printed, they're basically more than just 1-of-1s because they were quote unquote customer service replacements, which is why there's more than one.
Yeah, basically. So if they ran into any issues, pack out and something happened, you never know. And the 1-of-1's dinged up. Obviously, it's not a base card. It's probably now on a gold one, a silver one, whatever it was for the hockey. You had to have something to hedge your bets, or whatever it would be. You had to make sure that if there was an issue, you covered your bases.
Yep.
So, And that's the bad part now. I can't imagine when these companies are thinking, oh, we could make these extra cards, that they're like, man, we're going to be out of business within basically 6 months to a year of putting the cards out. And then you have your liquidation sale, you have Fleer liquidation, a lot of Pacific. Our friend Leximo on eBay has a lot of proofs. And other, like the parallels, those extreme, the extreme limited, or the limited extreme. You see more of them through certain entities, so you got to imagine, hey, that's somebody that bought into a lot of the overstock or the backstock. So it's always something that's going to be out there. A lot of people don't know that because, again, the hobby didn't start till 2018. And the majority of the people got in 2020. So they don't know. They see something and they think it's lots of true 101. Should be, but it's not.
I have some, but I also know.
Mhm.
It's I've accepted that. So I'm very much aware, like the Pinnacle Mint, one of ones. I know there are more than one.
Mhm.
However, it's still marked on my checklist as the one of one because it technically is. I have it in my hand. I do own it. It says one of one. The Score Showcase Artist Proof, one of ones. I know there's at least 4 of one of them because I've seen all 4 of them at some point or another. I have one. I've seen a few listed on eBay, and the guy I bought the collection from has one. Same card, but both stamped 001 of 001. And I know that that's not the only ones that are out there. There are other ones that are like that.
Mhm.
Spectrum, SPX Spectrum. I have the unstamped one of one version. I know what it is. It was probably printed as a customer service replacement and it got out there somehow. I have it marked as the 101 on my checklist, although I know it technically isn't
Mhm.
because it's not stamped. I know who owned the 101. Sadly, he got rid of it some time ago, but I digress. But I knew it was out there. I knew the legitimate one was out there. But, it's those, like you kind of alluded to, taking the opportunity to actually dig in and learn things is what's still missing. What's going on, Mason? Yep, still going strong. Still going strong. But, there's so many things, so many caveats, so many intricacies that, you have to pick up on or dig into or ask questions or reach out to other people in order to kind of figure out some of those obscure type situations. And you have to then make the educated guess on what you want to do in that perspective. But the same applies to older wax. I mean, a lot of this all ties into the whole blind faith aspect of taking somebody's word whether it be the manufacturer, whether it be a seller, whether it be whatever. Makes things challenging at times and a
again,
little
so
aggravating.
knowledge. Yeah, if you dig as deep as you possibly can, maybe you don't have the connections. And again, that's not even about a name of somebody. It's not about somebody that's got 8 million subscribers or followers or posts or whatever. They have every video. It's a $20,000 card purchase, $50,000 spent at a show. What if you find, like us, we don't have thousands. We've answered plenty of questions, not only for each other, but I know for other folks too that have, hey, saw you had this. Tell me about it, and what else is there of that ilk? I saw this, and I'm not sure if it coincides with what you're showing. And if you ask and you're fucking, this is, we've said this too. If you ask and you're a dick about it, which most people aren't. I don't know if we've probably run across some, but not just like, hey, what's this? Tell me what this is. Well, no. You have to have some sort of, and I don't want to say like an inquisitive mind for it, but when you say, hey, I'm curious about this, okay, then at least you're saying, I'd like to learn. Tell me about it, and you don't need to be like, pack odds, where it came out of, how much you think it'd go for. No, to give me a little. You guys go on rambling diatribes, especially the guy that has the cool little bee man on camera once in a while. Diatribes for 30-40 minutes, it seems. Tell me about this card and give me its history. That's gonna always endear us, I think, to giving some information. So I don't know. Don't have your blind faith and trust in a seller that says something that's a one-on-one, especially when it sounds like a used car salesman. There's a lot of that on eBay. There's a lot of that just like anywhere. The only one out there. You won't find this ever again. Hold on. Just pump your brakes. Like,
There was 5 listed just last month.
yeah. It's like no. And no. There's multiples of these. No, there can't be. It's a one-on-one. Well, again, you're ignorant. Then that's not on me. I can only do so much.
Hey, Dave. I'll let you answer this question for me.
It depends how far off. If it's like you're taking like the exit. Hey, I gotta get some gas. Grab a break to eat, and then back on the freeway. Okay. If you're going to the swimming hole, like 40 miles off the exit, and you got to take a back road, and you got to walk about 3 miles down like a jagged ravine to get to the swimming hole, that nomenclature will lead you to an answer that you won't like.
No, I'll just ignore it.
There you go. That's it. You're not getting an answer, so yeah.
A little off the beaten path per se, yeah, I'll give somebody the benefit of the doubt because you don't know when they've come in. They may not fully understand some of the ins and outs or the nomenclature of some inserts or parallels. I may give them a little slack.
And if they mention that too, it's like, hey, I'm fairly new to the hobby. I don't exactly know what I'm looking at, but I know it's cool. Or say that. You don't have to be self-deprecating, but you don't need to pretend you know everything.
Agreed. I mean, let's face it too. We make mistakes.
Oh,
We
constantly.
own the we own those mistakes though, and do our best to correct said mistakes or misquoting or misnotating. We may miss them from time to time, but we at least think about it. So and that's just us. I can't speak for others, but that's just us. Uh, there's just there's so many things that, and and in our side conversations, just the three of us, for instance, the three of us combined damn near have close to a century of collecting experience between the three of us. And we still learn stuff all the time through watching something else, interactions, reading, uh, chit chatting with somebody else. It just, because it doesn't matter how long you're in this hobby, there's always something to learn. And for us who like the older stuff, we learn a lot of the freaking nomenclature of the newer shit, because at some point when we open stuff, we at least want to sound like we know what the hell we're talking about. Although we poke, prod, and make fun of, calling hollows refractors and everything else, because it's enjoyable and that's what we like to do, because it's our way of poking fun of people who don't bother to educate themselves and actually really sound like they know what they're talking about. But even then, we fall on our face because we don't stay on top of the newer crap, and that a lot of that's by choice.
Mhm.
We only do it because we enjoy opening stuff from time to time. So
Yeah, when you can bust a blaster, bust a hanger, bust some fat packs from Target or Walmart or wherever you stumble across cards. It's fun. That's stuff we've said it a million times before. It's nostalgia driven. What'd you do as a kid? Went to your five and dime, at your grocery store, your holiday station, or your convenience mart, uh, Cuz's Corner, and you busted packs because you could. It was fun. You got 15 cards usually. You got memories. Every pack was a pack of memories, and even now it's like, oh, you get your 4 cards of like whatever Prism or Topps Chrome or whatever the case may be. Now those memories might not last as long, but just going back to the time, looking through cards, looking at the back of the card, looking through stats when they had the write up, hey, Carney Lansford went 3 for 4 July 13th, 1988 against the Angels and had a game-winning home run. It's like, that's cool. I didn't know that because, again, there wasn't sports on every channel every second of the day like there is now. You got Sports Center, and most of the time it was a quick blurb, especially when you hit this time of year because you had so many sports going on. But and then summer you don't watch anything because you're always playing sports or building forts or doing something. Yeah, the nostalgia of that, as much as we say we care, but it's not like you see other people that are just like, oh fuck, I didn't get my whatever honeycomb card out of prison. Fuck, we bought 6 blasters, we bought 10 blasters, and we didn't get any. It should never be about, as Vinny had so eloquently put it earlier, the ROI. You put your blind faith in these companies to give you the ROI. That's on you. We won't be able to help you then. If you think your every box is going to be $20 if it's a blaster, 30 or whatever the case may be, or hobby, a jumbo, first off the line, whatever team all means, that like the 1 card or 2 cards a pack, or the 2 hits or whatever it is. You think you're gonna always hit, make your money back? Try getting a lottery ticket every time and winning. Same thing, doesn't work. So the breaker part of it, I don't understand why people are faithful and trusting of specific. Saw Chad. Chad had some sort of hot water about getting in on piping back on. I think that Sports Card Radio dude, or what are they, brothers? Having a comment before about he should lay off, and then all of a sudden you're flipping, doing something now. But again, Chad hasn't, to my knowledge, had any shady goings-ons, switching out cards, any of that stuff. Then because he's been around since we were early in our infancy.
Yep.
YouTube, because he was on there before that, breaking with Irving and God, it's another Ryan. I don't remember. I can picture the guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
So, been around a while. We've said it before. RBI and his setup, and then Chris Justice. More so, and again, no knock to Ryan and Neil and everybody there. If I'm going to buy something, I'd say probably 80% of the time I'm going to Chris, because he's been around for 15 years. He's busted. I don't fucking. I'd love to get him back on and be like, how many boxes? Give him the the option before, like, how many boxes have you busted? So I mean, a case is whatever, 10, 12. How many do you think you've broken in your life? Just because it's again 15 years, and there was times when you could just get whatever you wanted at UD Premier, constantly. Exquisites. That 08, we've talked about how many times you had gridiron gear just literally all the time. Leaf limited all the time. But never once has he given even the slightest inkling to not trust him. To not have any faith in him. Not saying any others there's been a moment, but it's just like, you can see the history of Chris over the years on YouTube. So to have all these run-of-the-mill, fly-by-night, douchebag, fucking cunt-faced sacks of shit. Somebody that's like the methed out Brian Bosworth wearing the cutoff fucking 1987 mesh jersey for the college football. Looks like a Q-tip that's been shoved up somebody's ass. To have people constantly give their approval and keep these people in the news, keep these people relevant, keep these people in our hobby.
Well, what amazes me that that is the I'm right there with you. I mean, that's the number one thing. But, money is the root of all evil. And the majority of these people who have come into the hobby are only around because of the money.
Hmm.
They don't give a shit about reputation. They don't give a shit about customer service. But somehow, shape, form, or fashion, like you said, they have it's almost like a cult following,
Mhm.
which is even more detrimental, in my opinion, than, you know, us who have been around a long time and supported Chad or Chris or Tyson or Ryan for those individuals that, you know, ran a clean show.
Danny.
And Denny, uh, freaking Nick,
Yep.
GSN cards.
And old school Chad too, thundering. I know he did breaks
You know,
real early.
but they wanted to maintain their reputation, whether it be good or bad at that point in time or for ulterior motives is irrelevant, because at the end of the day, as a breaker, you still wanted to make a little bit of money. You wanted to, take into consideration your time. And it's not the time to sit there and record a video and open packs. It's the time it takes to package and ship stuff. Take it from somebody with experience who broke for a few months, and to sit there and take 6 and 7 hours on a Sunday to package everybody's stuff up and get it shipped out because you wanted to make sure you took care of your people. They spent money. You now have an obligation to take care of them. And it's not always that simple. Some people wanted all their stuff. Some people wanted their stuff shipped sealed. Some people just wanted their hits and inserts. Others wanted hits, inserts, uh, parallels, and certain superstars. So it's like not all breakers are that generous with
No.
meeting those expectations. I gave a shit about the people who purchased from me. I left it open ended. You tell me what you want. I can open it or I can ship it sealed. The only difference is if you want it shipped sealed, it costs X amount of money for shipping. If you want me to open it, then this is your price.
Hmm.
But everybody had the the common theme was hits and inserts, parallels, numbered stuff. That was a given. But if you wanted anything outside of that, you had the opportunity to specify. So I would always have to sit there and make certain notations for certain things. But that's because I gave a shit. But I didn't quote unquote charge anything for breaking, even though it took me between 6 and 8 hours to package everything up, depending on how much stuff was purchased. And that was twice a week, because I did it like Tuesday or Wednesday and then Saturday. But that's a lot of time. And from a breaker perspective, now with all the damn parallels and the numbered shit, those are considered hits. So that means that's much more stuff that you have to ship.
Hmm.
But, reputation is important to some people. Some of these people that are only after the money and they don't give a shit about anything else, they don't give a damn about their reputation. because somehow, shape, form, or fashion, like you said, they have a cult following and they will defend them till the end of time. And the only thing I can think of as to why that is the case is because none of the negative stuff has happened to them. They haven't been done wrong. They haven't been screwed over. Oh, well, they've fulfilled their obligations to me. Why? But it's like, okay, you're one person. You're one person out of hundreds, if not thousands of people. Maybe you're the lucky person.
Yeah.
But why does it take something negatively impacting you to have to take a step back and be like, okay, yeah, maybe there's more shady shit going on. Why am I going to keep making these people freaking tons of money when I can go to somewhere else, maybe pay a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, who knows, and know that there's nothing shady going on. And, breakers continue to come out of the woodwork. There's new channels all the time coming up on Instagram. And a piece of advice, not that anybody's going to pay attention to this, if you're a new breaker and you start going and following people and you get lucky enough to get a follow back just because that's you're like returning the favor, don't send somebody a message, hey, join my baseball break. No, dude, fuck you. Don't tell me what I need to do or ask me to do what you want me to do. If I want to join, I'll join. Don't do that. That's a no-no. I know you got to build your customer base and everything else, but there are other ways to do it. Just my 2 cents.
That, and yeah, look, if somebody subs to you, look through their posts. You don't have to look at every post. You can scroll down and be like, okay, is this, because you can tell if you're like a multi-picture post. Well, let me check that. Is that like breaks he's got in? Doesn't say. Just random car. Well, again, there's like 06, 03, a 97 Beauty Legends auto. Well, that's probably not a guy that's in breaks. Figure out who your
Audiences or who you're
like that. Target the people that seem to be in breaks. Don't target the people that are like, oh man, this is a collector. He's not going to be fucking, or she's not going to be collecting or buying into breaks because they're collecting something specific. It's obviously something that we're not breaking. It's
well,
you're barking up the wrong tree.
case in point, and yes, this happened to me today. That's the reason why I brought it up. If you look at my Instagram, what does it say? Terrell Davis Super Collector. Terrell Davis does not play baseball.
Doesn't?
Just last time I checked, no. You may see one post from a baseball, or actually 2 posts. One would be the stuff that I got that Bob sent me whenever, and my results from my 2022 Top Series 1. Yeah, you're still not going to find him playing baseball, Dave. You can stop looking. Why most of my posts are football? What makes you think that I would join a baseball break?
You were right.
I don't get it. I enjoy the game. I open stuff for chasing the hits. I used to enjoy breaking baseball back in the day, but it's not my thing. But on the flip side, it took me years to sit there and let the reality sink in of why pay money to join a break for something random of something that maybe because you're not guaranteed your team unless it's a pick your team type situation, and that didn't happen a lot back in our day.
No.
But instead of spending $50 in hopes to join a break and get your team and get a PC hit, you could go spend that same $50 and probably get 2 or 3 of the cards out of said set. Took me a lot of years to sit there and like, that makes a lot of sense. But you did it because of the possibility of hitting something big. Because let's face it, a lot of people have hit huge in group breaks. Huge. Huge in our day was, $500 and $600 cards. Huge nowadays is, $1 million cards.
It,
Yeah, well, Carlos, come on. I mean, let's face it. You should expect that after all the past interactions and everything. I mean, come on. Sensibility here, common sense. What a concept, right? But I still go back to what you said earlier. I still don't get the following that these people have. I don't. And the fact that they will jump on somebody else's posts and just like, well, you don't know them, blah blah blah, and it's like I don't. Why do I have to know somebody in order to sit there and be like, these people are crooks?
yeah.
It's freaking in black and white. Okay, it's not in black and white. It's in color, but it's right there. It's right there for you to see. I don't have to know them.
No.
And after seeing that, what makes you think I want to get to know somebody? Why would I want to get to know somebody like that? Because at some point, they're going to screw over somebody else. Because it's all about the money. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Once you do it, and what are the ramifications? If there's no ramifications, consequences,
Yep.
well, fuck, I can do it again. What the fuck's gonna matter?
Yep.
Let's
There's no
do it.
accountability. Yep. No accountability.
No.
And what's sad is if you think about it, we all have a job. Okay. We all work for a living. Most of us here work for a living. We work for our paycheck. If we fuck up, we have to take accountability for what we do every day.
Mm-hmm.
These breakers, most of them, this is their job, which means they should also have the same accountability, but yet they don't. And that's the one thing that always comes to mind is what type of human are you to where you think that that's okay? To openly screw somebody. That's the other thing that just blows my freaking mind.
Yeah.
As Vinny would say, just be a good human.
Now here's somebody's a tech wizard, and they could set up an app, and they want to do research. Here's your fucking money, big money idea. The only thing I can think of is like a Yelp, but I'm sure there's other, like an Angie's List. It used to be. Why isn't there? You can have all these stupid apps that fucking tell you what a fucking Jordan Fleer rookie card has gone for in the last 2 years. Again, that information, it's not a rare card. This isn't like a super rave or a super script or Bowman Chrome Gold Anniversary Refractor. It's not something like that where I would like to know what the other 2 that have popped up have sold for, or 5 or 6 of the Raves or the Red Crusades. Why isn't there an app out there? Because again, cards are fucking been stupid, obviously, the last 2.5 years. And you have this goddamn influx of breakers. Why isn't there an app? I wouldn't even say betting. Have it just as like a review. Hey, Mustache Mondays, Irving Manera. He's on. All these other people, RBI, with all the people that would be included with RBI, the Frankenstein, Dave, the 101 dude, all his group. So you know who the people are. It's not just RBI Crew 7 cards. Well, no, owners, give a detailed rundown. Even reach out to these people to have the most complete website that you can have, or an app that you can have. Hey, established card, the brand was established in 2011, card shop in like 2013, 14, breaking since whenever. Again, just and you can have it in categories like high-end breaks, just overall multitude of breaks, and then you can have folks that are maybe inactive but have broken before, so if they come back around, you've already got information about them. Not that, again, something can't happen, they can flip the script and turn rogue or whatever, but why isn't there something out there when every fucking thing else is out there for cards? Breakers are making how fucking much money acting a fool and like dipshits every fucking 10 seconds. Why isn't some fucking tech genius made an app to give you information on sports card breakers? And you can even have a tab for like international. Because again, not all of us are in America. You might have somebody over in Germany, you might have somebody in England, you might have somebody in Japan, you might have somebody in Australia. So that way, if you're over there, oh shit, I didn't know this guy was over in whatever, Queensland. Fuck, I buy because I'm over in wherever. Victoria. Fuck it, I didn't know there's a fellow Aussie doing that. So, just one of the rare times of something useful that comes tumbling out of my mouth. Just doesn't make any sense when you can have every card ladder, fucking whatever other, I can't even think of the stupid ass fucking crap.
Market movers.
All that shit. All of it. You have the
One of them went away.
same graphs, the same fucking nothingness.
Well, Card Ladder and Market Movers are both still around. They're both associated now with Golden. Let's face it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because
Golden.
Market Movers is now tracking like the Golden auction stuff. We're not giving math, Bobby. We're not actually doing math. We're not providing mathematical equations or calculations here. Because I know Card Ladder still, like Golden still posts Card Ladder shit on their posts on Instagram. And every once in a while, I'll see something from Jeff as it pertains to like tracking of recent sales for Golden.
It's the Slabstocks guys that I think retired theirs, and then they went with Chris House of Jordan's, whatever his is called. I think that's how it went. Because the Slabstocks guy had one, and then they started using the one from, whatever those guys use.
Yeah, because
I knew one of them went away.
Yeah, because like PSA acquired, I say PSA, but Collectors Universe acquired Card Ladder.
Yeah. Market
But
movers, Jeff Wilson, right?
Yep. But I know that Jeff and Golden have like a partnership because they're like tracking the Golden auction stuff now on Market Movers as part of Market Movers.
Yeah, I forget what the
So-
slab stocks ones was called. That's the one that I know went bye-bye. Or it's not being used or something.
There's so much stuff out there. They're tools, as Carlos has always alluded to. They're tools.
Yep.
If you want to use them, great. You don't have to use them. At the end of the day, do your own research, make your own choices, make your own decisions based on what you want to acquire. It shouldn't be based on what anybody bothers to tell you. Yep, absolutely. 100%, Carlos. 100%. So it's and I'll speak for the crew here. We've all said it at some point in time. As things continue to quote unquote stabilize or right size, whatever terminology you want to use, more and more people will disappear, and we won't have to see all the stuff coming out of sports card radio and the negativity aspect, but it's one of those in which I look at things in a different perspective. It's not always quote unquote negative. It's about providing information of a negative subject matter.
Mhm.
It's not like they're sitting there saying that, I'm sure they've said it, but these people are pieces of shit. They just need to go freaking play in traffic. That is negative. But they're bringing light and they're bringing subjects to the table that are of negative context, but all they're doing is providing information. So it all depends on how you want to look at it or interpret it. Because let's face it, we could be considered negative in a lot of subject matters that we talk about. But we talk about both aspects. It's about the reality. Every situation has both sides. Here it is. Yeah, we're going to focus on the less talked about side, the not so positive side, but it's not always, you can't always label it as negative.
Mhm.
You can call it pros and cons. Cons aren't necessarily negative. They're not. It's all about what word choice or context you want to use those words, that vernacular, as Dave would say. I won't use my word. I'll use Dave's word this time.
At the end of the day, have your own opinion, do your own research, figure it out yourself. Quit being a sheep.
Oh, but more sheep need to be led to slaughter so they'll all go away.
Hey, that's Ed Westerdrift's line. I got to pay him 22 cents if I say that. So,
Well, I don't have that agreement, so I'll say it for you. The more stuff that stabilizes, the more things kind of settle, the better. Personally, I think the better things are going to be. But at the end of the day, we need all of these things in the hobby, good, bad, and different. We do. when you have a multitude of different things or philosophies or apps or whatever, it's a sign of a thriving ecosystem. As collectors, we still want that. The only difference from us, from our perspective, is we want shit cheap. Let's face it, we want it cheap. We're collectors. We want it at what we think is the fairest price. We don't want to overpay for something if we don't have to. Most of us are willing to wait.
And lose several auctions until you get your mirror blue.
Question for you, sir.
Not this time. We have a soccer tournament this weekend. So, not this round. I'd love to, but definitely on my future plan list. Definitely on my future plan list. So I will live vicariously through the good doctor and chasing the oil, Paul, and the rest of the crew. Yannick, Bobby, of course, will be there. Carlos will be in court. I'm sure he'll go to all the Jeff Wilson and floating head things and be the one person sitting there. You don't say. Since the audience for those in Canada, the only person I think could get a bigger audience is the great curator and Merle World after their little debacle the last time north of the border and how they treated our friends to the north. It was not a good thing, not a good taste left in the our Canadian friends' mouth of their thoughts and their actions. For people who want to break even in a hobby, they sure want to make a lot of money doing it. And when they get ticked off that they're not equaling out what they paid for a table, they get all upset. And it's like, this is true, Carlos. It should be interesting, though. But you sitting there scowling at them would be entertainment enough. So maybe the 4 people in the audience, as long as one is you, or you could be just heckle them from the food court, throw meat from the meat guy at them.
That's also true. Hashtag facts there, Carlos.
Yeah. Hopefully he can keep his table straight this year while he's out doing his Tagly things and speaking and not sell a card to somebody.
Yeah, well. Now he has even more hobby clout. Things could be even more interesting. And I'll leave it at that.
Oh, praise the content gods. I'll steal one from Carlos. But I gave him copyright notation there as to keep to the exact nomenclature and copyright laws of Canada.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting my payment too. There, Benny. And don't tell me the check's in the mail either.
Yeah, package is in the mail in December. How about that?
Well, with our luck, you may want to think about sending it here in the next couple of weeks.
I am. I'm gonna so it doesn't get file 13 this time. So
it is what it is on that front though, too. Jeez. Yeah, I think everybody else's is going to be late this year. I haven't been doing much.
understandable. You and Dave had monsters to slay. You don't get the opportunities.
Don't give me excuses. Don't make excuses for me. I appreciate it, but don't make excuses for me. I just haven't wanted to. I haven't wanted to put forth the effort and the time, and that's a tough thing for me to admit, because that almost makes me feel like a complete and utter piece of shit that my friends and my extended family aren't worth my time to actually put forth the effort. That's a personal thing. I know you guys don't take it that way. That's a personal thing.
I will take a statement from Dave's book from the last Christmas episode. Quiet, you.
Yeah, well. Anyways, on that note, Dave, I think we can look
Does that make you
to start
drowsy?
wrap us up. I don't need no Zyrtec, but thank you.
Does it make you drowsy?
Never took it.
I think it can.
Because that's the first time I've taken it. And boy, do I. Again, I've had some issues with like hive type things going on the last couple weeks. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I thought it was chocolate. I haven't had chocolate. It's either I don't know, and I don't want to go in because I don't trust doctors. So
Well, take an at-home allergy test. You know you can do those things nowadays.
it has been brutal. Where I'm sitting there and I'm itching feet, fingers are just like cooking. Butt and thighs are just like destroyed. Everything, it's just fucking itching. So the end is nigh.
I wouldn't go that far. But at a minimum, you can order like the at-home allergy test and see if there's anything that sticks out.
I probably have to do that. It's been
Because as we get older, shit changes. Our hormone levels change. You just don't know.
I just hope it's not chips or I'm fucked.
That
Something
would
in
be
there.
bad. I'm going to need a hearing aid from all these high-pitched squills from these boys of mine.
Huh?
Exactly.
All right, Dave. Wrap us up.
Tie a bow on it, buddy.
Yeah, before you pass out.
Thank you for joining us. Again, hope you all voted. Been a pretty solid episode. Again, I don't know. Something I know we've delved into before. Want to do more so now due to the fact that, like I said at the beginning, just a lot of shenanigans and nonsense transpiring in the hobby the last several months, breaker wise and just overall wise. Again, do your knowledge before you put your trust and support into somebody. Because again, you support somebody and you put it out there, and that person a week later, 3-4 stories come out about them touching masseuses. Then there's 24, 25 of them, and then you supported somebody that did that. Maybe you'll get a $252 million guaranteed contract, so maybe it's worth it in the end. That's the problem. That's the problem. So don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution.
Viva la revolution.
And send us funds, any way, shape, form, fashion. Like, dislike, put some comment down there, but not for some fucking porn site. We know porn site. We don't need fucking stupid bots putting shit in.
We delete it. It's all good.
Subscribe. So we can be the 34th video after Team Schmedium and Home Ec Clothes and all the dipshits, the Human Stink line, and all the friends, the Care Bear bunch of idiots, card wise. So same time next week. Don't know what the topic is. I'll have to look for something in the book of magic and figure something out and rub two sticks together and hope fire is born. For Steve, for Vinny, I'm Dave. This has been the Instant Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, it's an awesome, awesome hobby. The friendships you forge while collecting cards, that's what it should be about. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.